come up to Perth today, Bankfoot in Perth, and we're here with Andrew and Margaret from Plants and Apples. Also, you're known as Appletreeman.
Yeah, that's me.
Plants with Purpose
Andrew,
on Facebook.
Appletreeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've come down to see some of these interesting varieties of apple trees you've got here, and you're telling me that you're kind of one of the few who's still kind of selling interesting heritage varieties and Scottish varieties and commercially available to people, and you can...
Yeah, we tend to, a lot of the varieties we grow are in very small numbers. We do propagate heritage varieties and some of the local varieties, even if we don't know the names of them.
Sure.
These old trees, it's really, really important to try and actually save them. So we do try our best, you know, even if they haven't got a name. But there's a couple here, which you can find in the National Collection down in Brogdale in Kent.
Yep.
This is Galloway Pippin,
Yep.
Obviously from Galloway, and a lot of them have gone back to Galloway. But you see, it's a good, vigorous, mostly a cooker. A good season, it would be an eater as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a grafted one.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to take off the tape, but you can see it's a good whip and tongue graft.
And you graft these yourself?
Yeah, I graft these myself. I don't do many grafts.
Mm-hmm.
Grafts is very time consuming. Most of the trees are done by budding. But this is some of the more specialised thing that I do. This is muirfowl egg, which is a Scottish variety of pear.
Okay.
It's been grafted onto a pear rootstock, so it's going to be quite a big pear in actual fact. But muirfowl is slightly under dispute in the National Collection. They do have one of these. In fact, they have two of these in the National Collection, and they don't match each other. The two they got muirfowl. So I think I've probably got the real muirfowl, because it's come from the Castle County, but who knows? It's so open to dispute.
Yeah, yeah.
This is always up for discussion. But you need to propagate these and put them side by side, get them fruiting, and then compare them. That's the only way you could really compare them, is to put them side by side. So there's lots of different varieties in here, some of them very, very unique. So this is my little specialist area, if you like. Yeah, and some I still hang on to. This is 2 years ago. There's one at the back here, I can't see the name of it. It's actually starting to produce me fruit.
I can see that there, yeah.
And one of the great things about actually propagating these old varieties, these old trees, onto dwarfy rootstocks, you can get fruit very early on, and that gives you the opportunity to actually start comparing and actually checking you've got what you think you've got.
Is this mostly pears here?
No, this is all apples on this side.
All apples here?
Yeah, some pears mixed in the front here, the shinier leaves. I get a lot of, I have a quite laugh actually with people in orchards, and I say, and what sort of tree have we got here? And a lot of people just not a clue.
Yeah.
It's another apple. No, actually it isn't. Is it a plum? Oh, no, it's a pear. So it's quite good to teach people the difference.
Yeah, different leaves, yeah.
And you need to be going through orchards and looking at them. And of course when the fruit's on it's easy, but trying to recognise the pears when the fruit isn't on. Some of them are very different, look. Can you see these two pears here, look? The leaves are very, very different. I think we've got a grey Benvie here, which is a Casagari variety. Look how soft it is. And Maggie's very similar to this. There are quite a few that have got these soft leaves.
When you say, for example, Casagari, some people won't know where that is or what that is. So these are kind of historical fruit growing areas, or
this is between Perth and Dundee, where in the 1800s. 1700s, 1800s, they produced a lot of fruit. Yeah. Unfortunately, the American market started to open up.
Okay,
and Dundee is responsible for bringing in lots and lots, the jute boats, I think, bringing in lots and lots of ripe red Macintosh type fruits from New York, and that really destroyed our industry. The late 1800s, we had a couple of bad years, a bit like last year, very bad for producing. Yeah. And what's happened is the market was killed dead with all these lovely fruits coming into the fruit market in Dundee, so that really destroyed our local market.
You were also saying a fascinating thing earlier on about the world wars causing a lot of the knowledge got lost for these old orchards and things. And
it's a lack of skills. Ever since the First World War, the late 1800s, we had a lot of skill. We knew how to manage these trees in wall gardens especially. The skills were not getting passed down to the pot boys, unfortunately, and that really saw that movement of skills from the older generation to the younger generation. And after the First World War, a lot of these wall gardens got closed down. After the Second World War, during the Second World War, they were used for producing fruit and vegetables. And then after that, often the owners couldn't afford to maintain them, and what happened is they went to Rachingham. Often they put horses in. I detest seeing horses in wall gardens. Sheep, cattle, and a lot of the trees got chewed. If you're lucky, some of them survive, and we still have a few remnants of Scottish varieties in the old wall gardens of Scotland.
You also showed me an interesting one over here. You were saying Tam Jeffrey. You think you're maybe one of the few people that's got this one?
Yeah, we're always looking to bring Scottish varieties back. That's been more or less lost. I mean, at the moment, it just looks like it's a grafted tree, look.
Yeah.
A nice whip graft. Plenty of shoot graft and that. Good, healthy tree, look. I've never grown it to fruition yet, but hopefully I will find a nice home for this and be able to go back to somebody's orchard and have a look at the fruit that's growing on it. I've run out of room to actually plant fruit trees myself, but there's lots and lots of customers.
Yep.
And this is on an M26, look.
M26, yep.
Very important, the rootstock, which basically means this is going to produce fruit very early in its life. I know a lot of people keep taking the fruit off their trees. I maintain leave the fruit on to help to identify the fruit in the first few years. And that's what you grow them for.
So you do, for the complete amateur, you do this grafting. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just put a seed in the ground? Why can't you just do that, for example?
This is done to make sure you're getting the exact copy of this tree.
Yeah.
You're basically cloning. If you want a Bramley apple, you have to take a twig off a Bramley and put that onto a rootstock.
Yeah.
If you grow seed, you've got lots and lots of cross-pollination into that seed. You're very likely to get a crab apple out of it. We've got one crab apple here, Strathmore.
But crab apple is kind of like unedible or unusable? Or?
No, a lot of crab apples are useful. They're good pollinators. And they're very good for wildlife and very good for making jellies as well. So nothing wrong with a crab apple.
But you're not guaranteed.
If I had only space for 10 apple trees or 10 fruit trees, I probably wouldn't put a crab apple in, because I think, why grow a crab apple when you could be growing a fruit tree?
Yeah.
A named variety.
Yeah.
But no, it's great to have crab apples if you've got a bigger orchard, and it helps pollinating all the other fruits as well.
Excellent.
So yeah, always think about pollination.
So it's a rootstock, and then
the crab apple. You see, it's a purple leaf crab apple.
Yeah.
On the top. And very floriferous. You'll get tons of flowers of this variety when it gets growing. Yeah.
We're not going to go too much into this because you actually teach people this, and you actually have, is it courses or?
Yeah, I do lots of courses.
Yep.
For a lot of orchard groups, I do my own courses here in the nursery. Anybody who wants to learn about fruit trees.
More information at your website?
Yeah, more information, plantsandapples.co.uk.
Excellent.
Yeah, you can get us there.
Great.
We're teaching an awful lot of people about grafting and how to grow fruit trees, because the knowledge is gone. There's very little knowledge in Scotland today. And we do things differently in Scotland than they do in England and in Europe. There's slightly harsher conditions in a lot of places in Scotland. We have to do things a bit differently.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's really important to me that the people I teach come back, network back.
Yeah.
This networking is very, very important. They come back and give us information about how they found with their fruit trees, how well they're growing, etc., etc.
2 sets.
Well, what?
2 sets to love.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, brilliant.
That's Andy Murray, 1 and 2 sets of love. So
we're going to go in and probably see the third set in a minute.
Oh, excellent.
Sometimes we have to forget about orchards and apple trees and clear our mind.
Well, we'll leave that video for now. That's great. And if you want to learn more from Andrew and what he's doing, plantsandapples.co.uk, and get him on Facebook, Appletreeman or Plants with Purpose. And excellent. Thank you. Bye.